Guys, a new machine. Now, the great thing about this machine is actually a couple of things. All right, so we're gonna see a new machine here now in just a moment. So I tell you the first feature that makes this machine great is number one is that this machine is super straightforward, up and down, on and off, all day long. Long battery life. It uses an 18500 lithium-ion battery, a Panasonic battery. At least that's the one that's going to be shipping from us. And as you can see, I'll start showing you peaks of the machine. This cap actually evolved into something a little more streamlined, but this is the one I have. It's one of the latest prototype, the oldest prototype. You simply pop in and pop out a cell. And the good thing about this cap is that it's quarter turn, and that's it. So to remove it, you don't depart your fingers from the cap, screwing, which potentially can lead for your cap falling on the floor in the middle of the session. And then if that happens, you'll be looking for the cap all over. So here you just twist, put the cap in place, remove the battery. It comes with a supply charger. It will come, which is this one right here. It has 2 slots for 2 batteries. Actually, I'm charging my second battery right now. And the great thing about this machine, like I mentioned before, is that it's super straightforward. But I think it's something that we haven't done ever, and I don't think, perhaps I have not seen from a reputable manufacturer a wireless machine for this price that I'm going to mention right now. So in just a moment, I'll tell you the price. So what I'm going to show you is one of the oldest prototypes, and I'm going to pop here on the screen in SolidWorks. Let me just do this for you really quick. So I can show you this thing, how it looks like in real life. Let me see here. So there you go. So yeah, I don't have. All right. So I'm going to show you the real thing in just a moment. So I'm going to review with you guys this prototype. All right. So this is the grip. So this is the old prototype. This is what the machine looked like a while back ago. Now the machine is actually shorter. All right. It's about 1 centimeter shorter than this one. So yeah, I wanted to work out the center of gravity of this machine. Now this machine is going to be for pre-orders April 18 and only for limited time for $599. So what is $599 going to get you? It is going to get you the machine with a grip. This is made out of aluminum, same material that we use. And this is a new finish that you are going to see in this machine. It's called the stone wash finish. It has kind of like it looks like granite, to be honest with you. And this is because of the media that we use to smoothen the surface of this machine. So I just decided to anodize it right from the process. And it actually looks really, really good. If you guys are familiar with knives, I collect knives. And this is a very popular finish in knife. It's called the stone wash. As you can see, it's very similar to this finish. But once again, the machine is sealed, it's anodized, and we're going to have 2 strokes available for this machine. Now, one idea that I have is that this is going to be something very distinct in the machine. This is the 4mm, which is the red with a red cap. And I believe that for the other strokes, what I want to do is I want to change the color of the cap. So if you have 2 machines that are black, you can tell, the green is the 3 and the red is the 4, something like that. So $599. So that means that for $1,200, you can actually have 2 machines, 4 batteries, 2 chargers, and it comes also in a travel case. So it's really badass. Now, the reason why I wanted to make a machine at this price is because we hear it, we read it over and over. And I know that to show off, especially with this economics, sometimes, if you live in countries where the dollar is really, really weak, your currency is really weak versus the dollar, it's really tough for some people. And, we want to make sure that everyone, has a chance to own an FK Iron machine, a made in the USA machine. Still, what are the sacrifices, you may ask? Well, to be honest with you, there are no sacrifices, because this machine will actually implement Pikmin like a mofo, has tons of torque. It can push anything from a single to an 150 magnums. If there is one like that out there, this machine will push it no problem. But yeah, we simplify things. So this machine has the PCB actually on the machine, unlike, for example, this machine's right here, where the PCB is actually in the battery pack. So you have redundancy. If this breaks, you just pop a new one, and you're up and running. Or if you have the combo that comes with two, that's that. That machine has a lot of features like the timer. It goes down to 4 volts, and there are a lot of features that obviously we kept them very streamlined in this machine. So this one, let me show you the magic, which is actually really simple. Turn on with a center button, and it kind of like the first flux. We went with that screen where blink means 0.5 and solid means the whole volt. So right now we're 8 volts, 8.5, and then to go down you do the same thing. Right now we are in yellow, so that's about 6 volts, and now we are at 6.5. So really simple for those that don't like to play video games with your machine and you like to tattoo. This machine is going to suit that need for you guys. And the best part is that we are going to be dropping this machine for $5.99 up on lunch. And I don't know for how long we're going to keep that price. Obviously, that is an intro price, not excuse to own an FKR. We have a lot of options. If you the new machine coming up for starting at $5.99, probably after a month or so, this machine most likely is going to be around the $6.99 round, which is a much more realistic price for us to manufacture this device. But still, $700, still like a very, very good offering. And remember, same materials that we use on these machines. This one obviously has a secondary step, which is the polish step, but this one is actually grippier. I like it a little bit more because it's actually different. It's matte, so it kind of like breaks away from what we've been doing. I got some of the earlier prototypes here, as you can see. So that's that. Now this is going to be comparable with all of our disposable grips, guys. So and also it's going to be cross-compatible with, look, I have an EXO right here. Let me just do the test. You're going to be able to just pop whatever grip you want. It's going to come with this one, which is kind of like based off the Gorilla Cyan geometry, more or less. And this is, the good old EXO. And as you can see, same ratcheting system. So, the choice is yours. And when it comes to disposable, I have some of the disposables right here with me. This is a disposable EXO looking one, as you can see. It fits really well in the hand. Now, we have great news when it comes to disposable. I'm going to be showing you, not yet, but I'm working on a product that is going to make your setup process a breeze. Now, remember, when you tattoo, what do you need? You need a grip, and if you don't have disposable, you need a bag or some sort of barrier. You need tape. Some people put the Ergo wrap or the Sensi wrap around it. So we're working on a grip that's gonna cover everything, just one item, and the machine gets covered from top to the end. So can show you that. We filed a patent on that one, so we're good to be talking sometime soon. But I think it's going to be a product that's going to make your life a lot easier, guys. So people are raving about the EXO. So if you like the EXO, in terms of weight and ergonomics, this machine is going to be very familiar. Now take a look at this machine that you see right here, right? And I'm going to show you now the new version, which is in my computer because I'm still designing it. So the machine is a lot shorter now. Just gonna turn this around, and This is basically the new shape. I streamlined the grip, this transition with this one, I made it a little bit smoother. The cap is actually a little bit different now. Instead of having 5 points, it has 3 points. And, it features the, it features the quarter turn locking mechanism. I lost the texture of the thing. Never mind that. Has some grooves around now, this version. So you guys can see, has all those grooves around. And I really like this grip. It's Gorilla. And we broke away from those teardrop pointy there. So this one, ends rounded. And again, this machine is going to be $5.99, guys. So it's starting at $5.99 up on launch. It may go up right after that, but if you're one of the first ones that, lucky ones to order this machine, that's what you are going to pay for this device for the first time. There's no offering right now on the market from none of the top manufacturers of machines right now for $5.99. And for good reasons. It's almost impossible to manufacture a device in the United States, stay profitable, and do it at a low price. But, we learn a couple of tricks across our career developing devices, and we're proud to say that we are going to be the first company offering a made in the USA device for $599. That is wireless. That's going to give you, a lot of runtime, a lot of bang for your money. So I'll read some of your questions. If you guys have 8 particular questions, I'll take a couple of questions. So drop them down below. And the first one comes from Adam Blackburn Tattoos. How long does the battery last? This battery, we've been running tests in the electronic lab. This battery at 9.5 volts, subject under resistant intermittent, resistant meaning simulating tattooing with a 15 magnums at 9 volts. That's just how analytical things have gone here. This machine lasted 8 hours and a half under constant stress at 9 volts. Now, once again, this machine goes all the way down to 5 volts. So if you are in the black and gray realm, or you are into stippling, or light-handed, or you just like the machine running slow, you are going to benefit from the lack of current demand, which is going to result into longer battery life. We have seen this machine running at 5 volts beyond 10 hours. So now take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I've seen that a lot of you guys like to hear the good part of the conversation, but there are caveats like anything else. When it comes to battery life, several things are going to have a direct impact into how long your battery is going to last. Number one is going to be whether your battery is at 100% charged. Number two is going to be the type of stroke you're driving. The longer the stroke, the more current is demanded by the motor. Number three, needle configurations. Needles, the more needles you have, the more resistance you're going to have when trying to implant pigment on the skin. That's going to draw more current. So there are a lot of things to keep in mind, viscosity of the pigment, tattooing with color pigment versus black and gray, which is all that stuff adds up to the equation. And when you say, well, what's the medium parameter? So medium parameter for this machine, I think that a lot of you guys are going to get safely between 6 hours, give and take. 8 hours mostly on a base case scenario, and for those that run the machine super low, you can exceed that. Now, it all is going to depend how you, if you start the session with 100% battery or not. But that's what I can tell you guys, $5.99. So that means that you could get, we're going to have it in 3mm and 4mm strokes. May introduce more strokes down the line. And like I mentioned before, I want to make this gap colorful, so you can actually tell what stroke is which one on the machine. So probably I'm going to make the 3mm in green, or maybe yellow. I don't know yet. So yellow will be cool, actually. So that's that. Okay, any other questions? Let me see there. Yeah, so Tats by Ali say, the way you charge it correctly and the way you maintain your batteries. the way, okay, so how do you maintain it? How do you charge it correctly? Well, basically, like I was showing you guys, we have this charger that's going to be provided with the machine, and the reason why we chose this one is because it meets all the regulations that you see there, CE, FC, and this company was the only company that was one of the few, very few, that was able to provide those certifications. Remember, all of our machines go through certification and regulations for electronic, radio, and all that stuff. So obviously, we need to make sure that the charger meets those conditions. This one does. So what you're gonna do is pop in the USB-C cable, which it comes with the machine, and then just charge your battery. Just put it there and charge it. Go to town. So to maintain the battery, I would recommend that if the battery is not in the machine, it's in the charger, whether the charger is actually plugged in or not. But you don't want this battery to short circuit anywhere, so leave it inside of the machine or leave it in the charger, or a proper storage for the battery. I think we may actually deliver the batteries in a case already, so you can keep it there. But that's that, super simple. Now the positive goes up, okay? The positive goes up. What happened if you put it in reverse? Well, this machine has also reverse polarity protection. So if you put it reverse, the worst that's gonna happen is your machine is not gonna turn on. It's not gonna fry the electronics because of that electronic protection. And I can do a test because I just put it reverse in the wrong way, and as you can see, nothing happened. So I pop it in the correct position, put the cap, and as you can see, it gives me the welcome screen. When it turns off, it's ready to go. And there you go, super simple. To change this, it's super simple, and no screwing, quarter turn, out, pop in, quarter turn, in, and you're engaged. So that's that. Any other question? Okay, there's a question there. Are the motors the same brand and manufacturer as the Flux and EXO? This one features this the same Dark Lab electronics motor that we manufacture back in. We started making for permanent makeup. So this one features the same Dark Lab electronic motor. It is a motor that we actually designed in conjunction with a motor manufacturer with all the specs. So the bearing, the shaft, the winding, even the mounting brackets on the motor, the terminal, everything was actually configured for our need, and it has been tested for over, now it's actually almost 2.5 years that we've been testing this motor non-stop. And this motor you can find in some of the permanent making machines, such as, you go to microview.com, you're gonna see that. Now, the reason why we use this motor is because it is resilient. Now, this motor is actually a DC motor. It's a DC motor, but it's a DC motor with a beefy bearing and beefy brushes. So when it comes to performance, this motor actually may be a little bit more silent than some of the brushless motor. It's really, really good. Really, really good, and it hums all day long. So what else? The stroke of this machine, German Tattoo Art. This one is the 4, but we're gonna have it in 3 and 4 millimeter. So yeah, I already answered that. New toy. Yeah, it's a new machine that we're dropping Saint tattoos, and this machine is dropping. We're actually doing the unveiling at the Chicago convention, and it's gonna be dropping April 18 for pre-orders for $599 with 2 batteries. $599, 2 batteries. I mean, can't beat that from nobody. So we are hoping that, we are gonna reach more artists that have been wanting to tattoo with an FK Iron product. And we just designed a product to make it happen, a product that wouldn't cut down in usable features, but maybe cut down on those features that some people just don't care about. And of course, there are some manufacturing improvements, and this machine is a lot easier to manufacture than something like that. Like I mentioned before, there is one single PC board here rather than, you know, a PC board per Powerball like it is in all that machine. There are pros and cons, but this machine nonetheless at $599, you can actually get two of those for $1,200 and have both strokes, or have a machine, you know, as a backup and one as your main driver. And, you know, hopefully you're going to like it as much as we're liking it. Now, the machine is actually shorter than this version that I have because I cut it down about 10 millimeters, 12 millimeters, just to compensate on balance, because I wanted the machine to be a little bit shorter. And let me show you here. If you see, this is, let me show it like that. If you see a Flux Max, this older one was longer, but then the new one is actually just like a Flux Max as long. For those that just joined, I'll show you one more time because I'm still working on this thing here. There you go. So I'm still finishing off some of the, oh, what happened there? There you go. So I'm still working on this sucker. I'll show you a little bit of the internals. I'm gonna do a section cut here. And there you go. That's some of the, that's it. That's all you see. That's all you get to see. Boom, there you go. So I'm still working on finalizing cosmetic, you know, details before we go into full production. Like I said, there are going to be a lot of people tattooing with this one, which is the one of the older prototypes, but the prototype that we've been banging tons of hours of testings, and artists that, you know, been working with is, you know, that's the one I have right now. But like I said, it's just the final product is actually way more streamlined than this one, shorter, and much more comfortable in my opinion. Is there a mechanical give? No, this machine has a zero give all the time. So like I mentioned before, it does not have any of the advanced features of the Max, but again, it's $599 also, you know, and it has tons of power. When it comes to power, the motor from the Max and this one, it's the same amount of torque delivered. What else? All right, so if you have no more comments, let me scroll. Safety feature, you guys really put a lot of thought in building great machines. Yeah, safety first. And like I mentioned before, all of our machines go through electronic regulation testings, and those are all the logos that you see on the machines in the back. You can actually check us up on each website, and you're gonna find the legit certification of this device. You know, and again, unlike products that, you know, from Alibaba or those Amazon products, they do not comply, and most of them, they could be a potential fire hazard, but not with our products. So Tattoo Unique says, well, we don't have an official FK content creator in Brazil. I mean, we do have a lot of artists in Brazil. You can actually go to the website and check some of the pro teams, and also we do have distributors. So check us out on the fgarand.com. So Black PMU Supply asked for, does it have give? No, this machine does not have give. It's a straightforward machine, up and down, kind of like a direct drive machine. You know, if you're familiar with a direct that we made years ago, it's kind of like in that realm of machine, but 100% wireless with tons of battery life. So Chris Diaz is asking, how much is the machine? Like I mentioned before, this machine is going to be dropping April 18 at $599, and yes, it's made in the USA. Okay, of course, with globally sourced components such as some of the electronics that are actually away from us. It's a brushless motor. Great question. It's not a brushless motor. This one is a brush motor. But if you're familiar with other machines like the Spectra Direct or the Edge that we had before, those are brush motors and 1-year warranty for the motor, just like the other machines that we sell, the flagship like the Max. So you're covered there. What else? Any more questions? Got seeing people from Venezuela, Colombian. I always confuse those flags, so please don't kill me. But I just saw the flag. What's happening? I always wonder how tattoo machines don't overheat. Great question. Why machines don't overheat? Well, you know, that there are machines that overheat, and that's why we spend a lot of time designing and fine-tuning a lot of the things. So first of all, we have electronic protection, but heating on a machine has to do with several things. One of the things is bad tolerances. If the part that's gliding, you know, has a lot of friction, it will cause the motor to overheat. It will draw a lot of current, heat up the battery, heat up the motor, and heat up the components. That's not good. Also, you want to have a motor that is made with a winding to sustain the demand of current, or the current that's circulating through the motor. So that's another thing why we designed this particular motor, because we just want to make sure that this machine won't heat up, and this machine does not heat up. So, and again, electronic protection and a bunch of other things, that if the machine would actually start demanding too much current for X reason, let's say, I don't know, something locked up internally, the machine will shut off, because continuing to supply current to a motor that's stalled, it actually turns it into a torch, into a resistant that can actually catch on fire. So we have that electronic protection here, and that's what I was saying before. These are some of the things that you won't see from most of the uberly cheap machines out there, that, you know, obviously there are more components to achieve that, and, you know, usually things that are very, very cheap, they also come with some shortcomings. The weight of the machine, don't quote me on this one because I made so many revisions, but it's supposed to have the same weight as the Flux Max, if you're familiar, or a Flux Gorilla, one of those. So it's actually very, very manageable. Let me see more. Ooh, sorry guys, I stay. Okay. Have you named this machine? Yes, this machine is called One. This is the FK1, like the number one. And let me show you here. Actually, I was designing a flyer. I'll show you the flyer as well. So I made this flyer. You're probably going to see it at the DC convention, but you can see the name there. That's the machine One. Wireless for all. And you know the reason why we went with that tagline, because a $5.99, most likely we are going to continue to reach to, you know, more people in countries where, you know, and $1,200 machine, it's kind of like, you know, too much. Maybe a $5.99 is something more on the realm, right? We haven't got to the point of being able to manufacture machines for less, but, you know, we are trying without compromising, you know, things. All right, so that's that, guys. Brazil, great. We have a lot of people from Brazil that always been asking us for an FKR machine that is much more affordable. And again, I think we accomplished by streamlining design, by re-engineering the machine. Like I mentioned before, you know, it uses one PCB rather than two PCB like like the other machines that we make. So hope you guys like it. Can I use the modular stuff? That's a great question. So the modular stuff that you can use in the machine is going to be the grip, because this power bolt doesn't remove because it's a cell, right? But the grips are going to be fully compatible, disposable and non-disposable grips. What else? All right, so yeah, guys, let me go back there. When will the draw be? There's no draw here. This one is going to be a full release, if that's what you mean. April 18. What is this machine? This machine is the One. So yeah, we call it One, like the number one, FK1. And I'll show you again. This is the final model. That's the final shape. Check it out. That's here at home, my Mac. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Now you know, new machine dropping soon. See you later.